Do you aim like a potato in your matches and want to improve? Well, that's good news, because just by clicking on this video, you made the first step to improving your aim in Rivals. My name is Phil, and I'm a top 5 RCL player with over 50,000 Robux earned from tournaments, so I think I have a good idea on how to improve your aim. And in this video, I won't be telling you to copy these god settings and Crosshair to instantly get a 1000 streak. No. In this video, I'll be teaching you guys the fundamentals of aiming, and genuine advice to help you hit more shots in both Rivals and any other FPS games you play in the future. I'll also be teaching you the best aim routines that's easy to remember, fun to do, and shows amazing results, so stay tuned because I'll be going through that later in the video. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the aim guide. The first rule in aiming is to control your tension. Stop choking your mouse or controller. You need to keep your muscles relaxed when you're tracking someone. Keep them at a point where there's no tightness so you can move your mouse freely. People always tense up when you're in a life or death situation, especially in Rivals, where the other player could be speeding across your screen. You're probably thinking that the player is moving way too fast, but in reality that's all in your head. Everything has a max speed, and you just have to understand that and predict their movements. For example, look at this clip of mine. My friend CXT pushes my spawn wall, and in my head I'm thinking that he's gonna go on top and start strafing.
Bro, this bracket's the shit.
Since I've been playing this game for a while, I know how fast and how far you could go while slide strafing. So I predicted his movements and followed with my crosshair. I understand that not everyone has the time to play as much as I do to get used to the Rivals movement speed, so what I recommend for you is to aim duel. So to aim duel, you get a friend to 1v1 you in a private server in the range and mimic different scenarios that you struggle at. For example, if you're really bad at close range tracking fights, I recommend aim dueling your friends up close using the energy pistols. Or if you're really bad at far range clicking fights, pick up the revolver and aim duel for far away. I can guarantee you that if you do this every single day for 20 minutes before queuing 1v1s or RCL leagues, you would not miss a shot. The next thing I'll be going through is how you incorporate aim trainers. I think that you should only use aim trainers before and after your gaming session for about 30 or 45 minutes or so. Aim trainers only work if you use the right scenarios. Practicing only one scenario like grid shot isn't going to make your aim better. If you use aim labs, Kovacs, or both, I recommend trying out the voltaic benchmarks. It basically covers all of the essentials in aiming and has different skill levels from novice to intermediate to advanced. If you main aim labs, I also recommend the custom Rivals scenarios that I offer in my Discord server, Rivals Guardians. We are dedicated to helping you improve in Rivals by offering coaching from top leaderboard players and RCL players, custom-made Rivals map aim lab scenarios, public movement rollouts, tech tutorials, and more. The invite link is in the description. So anyways, this aim routine isn't too concrete, so feel free to change around some things and do exercises that you enjoy the most. To completely solidify your aim, what I suggest is going into an FFA or two, only using revolver for clicking and energy pistols for tracking. If you don't have energy pistols, then you can just use the assault rifle. A big part of getting easy kills is good movement. I already have a movement guide up on my channel, so if you're interested in that, it's linked in the description. The next thing I'll be going through is sensitivity. You've been lied to about your sensitivity. You might have been told that you should stick with a comfortable sense and develop muscle memory, blah blah blah. No. Think of sensitivity as more of a tool to get better. You should only change your sense depending on what playstyle you have and how much mouse space you got. Say for example, you like to use clicking weapons like revolver and crossbow, so a more lower sense would help you with precision. Or you might be an RCL player and you main the default loadout. A more higher sense will probably be better for you. And if you just don't have the mouse space for any of this, I recommend just getting a bigger mousepad. If you're not sure about what mousepad to get, I'll link a mousepad Google sheet that I use myself to find mine. Anyways, do not think you have to copy a top player's sensitivity. And you might be wondering, getting used to a sensitivity on keyboard and mouse doesn't help, then what does? It's just your fine motor control and your hand-eye coordination. You might think that top RCL players with the best aim in the game has some type of special lab serum that makes them better at the game. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but improving your motor control and hand-eye coordination just comes down to your practice. And I mean focused practice. Not that bullshit pay-to-win flamethrower stuff that you see people do. That takes zero skill. In fact, that probably makes their tracking worse. You need to put your mind into your hand. If you don't believe me, look at what a 2-time VCT Masters winner and God aimer, 10 said.
Rather than muscle memory, like holding a mouse is a lot of like hand-eye coordination. Like what you see is like how you move. The reason why I can play somewhat similar on anything or like low sense, high sense, doesn't really matter, is because I'm just using like hand-eye coordination. That's it.
Think of it like mind-muscle connection at the gym. When working on your biceps, I don't use momentum for my chest and other muscles to curl the bicep, because then I wouldn't be working on my biceps. Instead, I focus on moving the bicep directly with all of my mind and focus. Do that with your hand and mouse. At the end of the day, it's not about muscle memory, but how well you can control your mouse. Next rule I'll be going through is your crosshair placement. Sometimes your opponent can have really good aim, and what really decides who wins those duels is whoever shoots first. And how do you shoot first every single time? Crosshair Placement. You should always have your crosshair somewhere an enemy will be. Sometimes I see players mopping the floor with their crosshair as they're moving. You are not the janitor of rivals. Raise it up. Your crosshair should be constantly moving to a place the other player could be peeking. Then all you have to do is click. I see players all the time get absolutely destroyed by this, and the first thing they do is accuse cheats. Even though the majority of Rivals players are cheating, it's really simple to just implement this easy fix into your daily games. This is such an easy boost to your accuracy with basically no work. This also means you'll have to change your crosshair placement while doing movement. Unless you want to do unreliable flicks all the time, the best players do this without even thinking about it. Alright, before I end off this guide, I'm going to give you some important tips that you should follow to improve your overall aim. First off, you should understand that movement is just as important as aim, if not more. As mentioned before in this video, movement not only makes you much harder to hit, but in a way can also help you hit more shots. Another YouTuber tried making a tips video for better aim, but half of the things he's trying to tell you just isn't true. For example, this is his tip on aiming in.
Let's get right into this. Tip number 1. Never use the aim feature, only use it when you're sniping. And by that I mean if they know where you are or if they see you, never use that aiming feature.
While you shouldn't be aiming in all of your fights, it is 100% a tool you should be using. When you don't ADS, your gun has insane bloom, but once you do ADS, it's 100% accurate. He says that you can't see anything when you ADS, especially when the enemy is running across your screen. But if you simply take a look at your settings, you could change your scope zoom so you're not making out with the enemy when you do decide to ADS. Me personally, I had it set as 0.2, so then when I take long range fights, the game isn't shoving my face into the scope. What I recommend is to ADS only in fights when there's a decent chunk of distance between you and the enemy, because just that small bloom causes you to miss a couple shots, even though your crosshair is on him, which could straight up just lead you to losing the fight. Tip number 2 is your FOV. I understand that your FOV is whatever you prefer, but having friends in the top level of Rivals competitive with the highest FOV setting, even they say that max FOV just isn't the play. If you guys want a range on where the ideal FOV would be, it would be around 90 to 103. Using an FOV around that range is a perfect balance of map and enemy visibility. For example, if you have 120 FOV, then your aim duels would just seem extremely far away, and in some cases would straight up grief your fights. And in an FOV below 80, your enemy would just be flying across your screen with barely any map visibility. I know in my montages I use 80 FOV, but for your average competitive player or leaderboard player, that is extremely low. So I wouldn't recommend trying it out. The only reason why I stick with it is because I've been using it for months now with hundreds of hours on Rivals. Alright, tip number 3 is, well, I don't think there's an official name for this, but let's just call it screen centering. So basically, instead of aiming in before your enemies in the center of your screen, you should do the complete opposite. You should bring your crosshair towards the enemy, so they're around the center of your screen, and only then make minor adjustments. If you're a little confused by what I mean by that, I'll play a clip for you on screen where I do something similar. Alright, I'll slow this clip down and explain everything I did here. So first off, I hear the enemy nade jump towards my right, so I flick towards their general area. Once I see them, you can see that I only have to make a small minor adjustment to lock onto them, and only then I start shooting. If you follow this tip, it just makes your life easier because you don't have to do a bunch of unreliable flicks everywhere. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned something new from this video, and if you have any feedback or questions, please leave a comment. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching. See you.